This is Extra Paycheck Podcast, episode number 121.
You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Extra Paycheck Podcast. This is episode number 121, and today we'll be talking about how you can become an expert in your niche. I picked this very question because I've had a lot of people asking me how to seem like an expert when you're trying to build a niche website when you aren't really an expert, and why would people trust you if you're not an expert? Why would they listen to your opinion and your advice? That's a really good question, and to be honest with you, I've been asking myself that very question when I first started my online marketing journey, and I get it, I understand it. If you're looking for any kind of information online, you don't want to just read anything from anyone. You want to make sure that you're getting it from someone who has experience and knowledge on the subject. You want to get your information from an authority, from an expert, once again, and this is why you want to become an expert when you start your own niche website. To answer this question, there are quite a few different things that you can and should be doing. The very first thing, and this is advice that I give out all the time, you have to be passionate about your niche. I know that some of you disagree with me. I know that some people have started successful businesses just for the sake of making money and they don't care for the niche at all. But I'm a different breed. I believe that you should be liking your niche, you should be passionate about it, or at least you should be having some interest in it, because when you're interested in a niche or in a hobby or, in your business, then it'll simply be a lot easier for you to learn new things and to become an expert and to create content and to simply become an authority in that very niche. The first piece of advice I would like to share with you here is that an expert doesn't know everything and will never know everything. An expert is simply a person who knows more than the majority of people who are looking for information on that very subject. So let's say that you have set up your own blog using WordPress and you've published the blog, it's live, you've done a little bit of SEO work simply by tagging your website properly and making sure that you're using titles and H1 tags and so on. You are already an expert in setting up a website compared to like 99% of population probably, because if you ask any of your friends or family members, none of them have ever set up a website, most likely. So they don't know how to do that. So in that case, you are an expert already in that niche, in that very subject, because you know a lot more than most of the people around you. There you go. You're an expert. Maybe you're not the best expert because you don't know a lot on the subject, but you certainly do a lot more than most people around you. And that applies to every single niche. If you know more than most people do, that already makes you an expert of some sort. And from then on, you just keep learning and keep improving and keep getting better. You know, when a child is born, that child is not an expert at walking. We all become experts at walking at some point, meaning that we can easily walk from point A to point B. But when you're just born, you don't have that skill. You don't have that knowledge. You can't walk. But with time, you keep learning and you keep trying and you're getting better and better and better. And eventually you walk just like everybody else, or you become an expert compared to all the other babies that can't walk. I hope you like this analogy, but that's pretty much it. You are an expert if you know more than the majority of people know on that very subject. Okay, so let's say you've picked your niche, you know what your website is going to be about or your brand, and now you need to build an expertise in that very subject. You have to build authority in order to be credible and in order to be a resource where people will go to and get their information or maybe get any kind of advice, how to purchase things or how to do certain things, how to accomplish certain tasks. And you need to do your research in order to become that expert. Doing research takes a lot of time, and this is why it's important, in my opinion, once again, to like your niche. Because if you like the subject of your niche, of your website, of your blog, then it'll be so much more fun to learn about that. And how do you learn about your niche? Just like you learn about anything else. Check out YouTube, do Google searches, find authority blogs on that very topic and follow them. Find experts, find some of the best known people in that niche and follow them on social media. See what they have to say. See what kind of content they're creating. If you have any questions, reach out to them and chances are they will reply to you, especially if it's a simple question. But you need to participate everywhere you can, possibly online, to learn more about your niche, to become more of an expert and to get more of that knowledge. You could also find and join Facebook groups where people are talking about your niche. Reddit also is a great place, and you could even find forums from time to time where people are talking about your niche, especially if it's a big industry. Certainly there's a lot of online presence and thousands, if not millions of people are talking about that very subject. So you need to be one of them. First of all, you need to join these people and you have to start learning more about that subject, about your industry, about your niche. I also believe that experience is very, very valuable, maybe even more valuable compared to simple knowledge and theory. Just to give you an example, I started the Extra Paycheck blog in 2008, early 2008, and I only started it when I was making a few $1,000s per month with my niche websites. I wanted to share that knowledge. I wanted to share my experiences and basically tell people, oh, here's what I'm doing and here is my journey of trying to make money online. But I felt like I would be cheating people if I started that website and told people how to make money if I personally have never earned any money online. And to be honest with you, the idea of starting a blog didn't even come to me right away. First of all, I started building niche websites, putting content on them, and started making money. When I was making enough money that would cover all my expenses, which was actually more than my previous full-time job was paying me. So when I was making that kind of money and I had more and more friends asking me, okay, so how do you do that? Can you explain it? And I kind of got tired of explaining it over and over again. And this is when I decided to start a blog. So at this point, I felt it was fair to start that blog and to share my knowledge or my experiences and even advice and opinions with people because I knew what I was doing, or at least I knew more than most people around me. Actually, none of my friends had any idea about making money online, about affiliate marketing or online marketing of any sort for that matter. So yes, I was an expert compared to all of them in that very specific niche or on the subject of online entrepreneurship. And I decided to share the ideas with them. But once again, I had the experience. I actually worked in that field and I actually did succeed making money before I started helping other people to make money online or before I started giving advice. And this to me is, a real expert. If you want to be an expert in your niche, you need to participate in that niche. Somehow they will give you a real experience, not just some theory knowledge. So if you're starting a YouTube channel or a blog that does tech reviews, and let's say you're going a little bit more niche into it and you're not doing just tech reviews, you're simply doing smartphones or drones. If you want to do reviews that talk about drones and you want to promote drones as an affiliate, I would suggest you to buy at least one drone and fly it around and to just get a better feel of what it is, how it works, and what kind of problems people might have with these kind of products. Now, once you start making money, you could buy more drones and actually test them better. This will, first of all, give you, once again, deeper understanding of your industry, and it will help you create better content. It will help you create more unique reviews, which in the end will help you sell more products as an affiliate. And, you don't have to spend the money. This is just one example. And I know some of you will say, yeah, but I haven't started making money. I can't afford a drone. Well, you must have friends who have drones. I personally know at least 4 or 5 people that own a drone, and they're all different. Some of them have cameras, some don't. Some of them are racing drones. Some of them are just, very cheap, like $50 drones or $100 drones. But if you're serious about that niche, you'll find people around you who could give you those products to just test them out or try them out. But once again, try to get a real life experience in your industry, and this will accelerate your expert status, and it'll simply help you become a better expert, and it'll help you understand your audience a lot better, and it would allow you to help them in more detail. Next suggestion would be finding real experts in your field, in your industry, and connecting with them on a more personal level. Now, this could be going to local meetups, trying to see if there are any kind of events around your niche or in your industry in general, and attending those events physically and meeting people and trying to figure out who's the expert there and asking them questions, or, kind of drilling their brain while you can during those meetups. Maybe befriending some of those people and meeting up with them for a cup of coffee or something later on to ask them more questions. Now, if you already started a blog, what could be great is conducting interviews with those people. If they're experts in their industry, they love free advertising. So you could ask them to do an interview, either written or audio or video interview, and tell them that you'll be posting it on your blog. And some of these people will be really, really happy to help you out. So this is free content for you. And not only free content, it's also more knowledge. And it's another step forward to becoming a real expert in your niche, and then helping other people, helping your audience, making their decisions, or simply giving them advice on that subject. When trying to become an expert, you should also be creating lots of content for your blog or for your YouTube channel, for your podcast, whatever it is. But when you create that content, basically what happens is that you're forcing yourself to do even more research and to learn more on that very subject. Now, a few suggestions here. One of the things you should be doing is looking for official sources and data. Don't just read some small blogs and unknown websites, but look for official websites with official data, either government websites or professional and very renowned statistics websites, and so on. When you find official data related to your very industry, you could use that in your content. Now, when you do that, don't just say 95% of drone users have this issue, or buy this kind of drone. This is not good enough, because this is your opinion. Well, a lot of people will think this is your opinion, but when you cite this kind of information and you give them a link to the official source and tell them that this research group or this government has this data that says that 95% of drone users have this issue or this problem, then you will seem like a real expert. And not only that, you will also learn more on that niche once again, and you will truly become more of an expert, because once again, you have knowledge that most people don't have. You've done the legwork. You've done that extra research to find those numbers, those official sources, and that official data, official research that, is not just made up out of thin air. It's actually research that has been done, and probably a lot of money has been spent to create that research or to see those results. And now you know those results and you know where to look for them, and you could also direct your visitors there. This is something that I've been doing for most of my niche websites, including the Extra Paycheck blog, and I love doing that. And I don't mind linking out to some research group or to some government website, because it's also a good thing, not only for your readers, but for Google as well. When you're linking out to an authority resource, Google sees that and they understand that it's not just fluff content. You're actually talking about something more serious, and you're linking out to official resources, which is great. And just as I mentioned, your readers as well will appreciate that. Some of them will click on those links, most of them wouldn't, but when they see that official link, they'll be like, oh, okay, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, or this girl, regardless. But yeah, look for official sources, official data, and use that in your content. And don't forget to mention that or link out to those resources for your readers who actually want to make sure that you're not making up some crazy claims, that those numbers are actually legit and well researched. One last thing that will help you become a better expert is actually listening to your audience, hanging out with them, and trying to figure out what they want to know and what kind of issues they have. Now, I've mentioned that in many different episodes, but once again, Reddit, Facebook groups, forums are great places to learn more about your audience. Look for the questions that are being asked repeatedly. Look at the FAQs. They're not called frequently asked questions for no reason. Those are actually questions that people ask over and over and over again. And if you find questions that haven't been answered, spend some time doing research so you could answer that very question. Once again, if hundreds of people are asking questions and nobody's answering, it's because there isn't an expert. And if you could answer that one question, you are already an expert compared to all those other people who are asking that question, but they don't know the answer to. To recap this episode, I'm just trying to tell you that if you want to become an expert in your niche, you need to do a lot of research. That's the most important part. You need to research the information. You have to research who are the other experts in that industry. You have to research what your audience is asking, your potential customers. You have to research what kind of products are out there, how to promote them, or maybe how to get your hands on those products so you could review them properly and maybe test them out and go in detail. But yeah, the main point is you need to do research. It's not easy, I agree. It's not quick, I agree as well. But if it was quick and easy, we'd all be experts and we would all be making millions of dollars overnight. But this very simple fact differentiates people who succeed and people who don't. People who are willing to put in the effort, people who are willing to invest their time into doing that research and learning and becoming an expert, they actually become successful. And most people who don't, they fail really quickly. They fail within a week, within a month, within a few months, and then they tell you, it's really hard to succeed online. Well, of course it's hard. Just like starting any business, it's hard to succeed at business and you need to put in a lot of effort into it. And I hope you already know that since you're going into business, into online business. I hope you know that you have to put in the effort and the time and you have to be patient to see the results. But if you are patient and you do put in that hard work, it will pay off eventually. It might take longer than you thought. It might be harder than you thought. But if you keep working at it and you don't give up, you'll see the results. And that's about it for today's episode. If you have any questions or suggestions or you think I missed something out, please head over to extrapodcast.com/121. This is where I'll be putting up show notes page, and this is where you could post a comment and ask me any questions about becoming an expert in your niche or any other questions related to online marketing, affiliate marketing, online entrepreneurship, and all that jazz. Also head over to extrapodcast.com/iTunes in order to subscribe to the show. Please do leave a rating and a review if you haven't already, and that will help the show tremendously. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next Monday.